It's been a hot minute. I think I mentioned last time, 2 weeks ago at this point, that I was like, next stream's gonna be a lot of side stuff. I think we're going to clear out a lot of the side stuff. At least that's my plan. Jesus.
そこか。そっとじゃ。静かに。ここならよく見える。
Aww. Look at the baby ducks. Little hearts on them.
やった。
Did forget to see how much money I had on me before I bought that fast travel point, but whatever. It's fine.
よくぞ参った。細川藤孝じゃ。そなたには前から一目会うてみたかった。
信長様亡き後、明智光秀が藤孝殿に加勢を求められたとか。どうかお聞き入れになられませぬよう。
忠義は移り変わるもの。変わらぬものは芸と戦のみじゃ。好んで俗世に関わっておるわけではない。それはそうと、その俗世のことでそなたに頼みたいことがあるのじゃ。この義貞は我が藩の勘定方を担っておる。この者から話した方が早かろう。
殿は抜け荷屋が銀をくすねておるのではないかとお疑いだ。すでに大量の銀が行方知れずとなっておるからな。
悪用されれば恐るべき害となりましょう。
いかにも殿の見立てでは賊は奪った銀で南蛮人から鉄砲を買っておると。それを山賊にでも売って儲けるつもりであろう。
藤孝殿のご心配、ごもっともかと。
That all the gunshots I heard on the way
磨きを
over? Those bandits with guns?
すぐにことに当たらねば失礼いたす。
世の安寧を乱す者は捨ておけませぬ。調べましょう。
この結界観では明智光秀の申し出に対するわしの考えは大きく変わるであろう。
私が望むは世の安寧のみ。されど光秀との同盟はそれを脅かすものになるかと。
ならば話はついたな。家臣の一人が抜け荷屋の真を得た。その者と話すことから始めるとよい。
Actually, before we do that, let's kind of just want to like fly around and grab all of the starting. Before we commit to one set of targets or another.大丈夫か？お母はどこに？
近寄るな。おっかを殺した浪人の使いか？
違う。お前を傷つけたりはせん。
おっかのもとに私も行きたい。一人で怯え過ごすなど耐えられん。
怯えることはない。その浪人が二度と襲ってこんようにしてやる。
御仏の使いじゃったか。
織田信長の死後、多くの浪人が狼藉を働き、やつら。
That's a main quest.
忍びよ、そなたは味方なるか。
That
私は加藤
depends.
州の直江と申す者。
おお、ならばそなた一向一揆を率いておった京女を知っておろう。わしは剣女、あやつの父じゃ。あやつとは道を違えることになって久しいがの。
織田信長と和睦なされたことが京女殿には特進しがたかったのだとか。
大勢を束ねることとなった太平への願いがあやつとの不和を招こうとは。親子の絆は断たれ、今あやつは命すら危うい。
命が危うい。
誰の差し金かはわからぬが、褒美の銭を目当てにした輩に襲われたとの話じゃ。根性で顔を見ることはかなうまい。
若いセネムも不死が死に別れるは誠に辛きこと。その資格どもについて何かご存知のことは？
このぐらいじゃな。
しからば
This is all I know. I'm gonna hand you something off camera so we don't have to animate
どうぞ
me actually handing you something.
僭越ながら
申してみよ。
ことが済んだら
Oh,
京女殿と話を
Excuse me.
なされてはさもなくば後に悔やむ結果になるやも。
more circle. Many circles. I think this is one with what's his face? It's been a hot minute. I don't remember all the characters' names. The kid.
見つかってはならん。
Did what looks like he fell out of the Goonies.
「この橋からは港がよく見えるな。どこへ行くんじゃろうか。
Hello.
Can you hear me at all? This is a new microphone since the last time I used the Skypes. I mean, whatever this is.
Yes. You sound good.
Good. Yeah, I think it's a bit quieter, but maybe all the automatic adjustment stuff is blowing it up enough.
なれど船には幾度も乗った。
どんな具合じゃった？
How goes the face and neck stabbing?
I haven't stabbed anybody quite yet. I've just been running around taking side quests because there are a lot of them on the map, and I want to make the map cleaner.
一日を過ごし、腐った食料にうんざりする。
I got a new phone and I've been trying to
朝
set
日
that
や
up.
夕日は美しいと
Nice.
昼は常に光を追いかけて走り、晩になれば数えきれぬほどの星が空一面に広がる。
It's a Galaxy S25, which it seems nice from the hardware side, but on the software side, there's a lot of Samsung junk on here and trying to
Yeah.
disable and or remove.
こことて同じ。
Samsung phones love them some Samsung
そう思って
software.
おる者はおる。
どこ
This was not the mission with the kid. This is a mission talking to Yasuke.
海の向こうでは芸の極みのごとき南蛮寺も見たことがある。そして鼻を殴られるような香ばしい薬味の匂いを嗅いだりもした。それに日の本の港に着いた時、南蛮人がそれがしに着せたものも忘れられぬ。
取っておかんかったのか？
きっと信長様に焼かれたであろうな。船旅は光を追い求める闇の道。 道なき道だ。ある地を攻め落とさんと兵を送り込んだ王が、同じ手で地を求めんと人を送る。
船乗りは勇敢なんじゃろうな。
さよう、見知らぬ地へと船を進めるのだからな。
では我らも行くか。この目で確かめたい。船を盗むんだ。
Steal a boat.
ならば、それがしが船頭を海に突き落とそう。お主は甲板で魚のように跳ね回って気を引け。
いや、私が突き落とす。お前が甲板で跳ね回れ。南蛮のおかしな着物を着てな。
そうきたか。もっと良き考えがあるぞ。
How about we both push the captain
ここに
overboard?
とどまるのだ。お主がどう思っておるかは知らぬが、それがしはここが気に入っておる。
完璧とは言えん。じゃが、外の世にもままならんことはあるんじゃろう。
完璧なる太平なぞ求めてはおらぬ。争いを終わらせたら、旅に出るお主に向かって岸から手を振るとしよう。
楽しみじゃ。
That was sweet.
いつか私は外の世に出る。じゃがそれはこの地の仲間に平穏をもたらしてからじゃ。
ぜひお話を。
あれほど大
What's
声
up?
で叫べば嫌でも聞こえる。
そうでしたか。一緒に来て話を聞いてもらえませんか。
一体何があったのじゃ。
この村や近くの村に目をつけ荒らし回ってるものがおります。盗めるだけ盗み、止めようとしたものは皆殺しです。村朝に会ってください。
野党か。
ただの野党ならマシですが、もっと腕が立つようです。元は武士でしょう。
確かめてみよう。
そう言うてもらえるものと、村のために戦ってくれるお侍様を探していましたが、あなたも腕に覚えがありそうですね。
この娘は侍に頼み事があるようだ。安家に言っておこう。
村長とお話を。どうか皆を。
おお、リンがつわも
Summon Yasuke.
私は直江。こちらは安家。
血に飢えた荒くれ者に襲われとるそうだな。
リンが言う通り、冬になると恐ろしく腕の立つ一頭がこの辺りを荒らし回る。ゴボウは特にひどいありさまじゃ。
奇怪な。なぜ冬だけ、なぜゴボウを狙う。
ならず者どものことだ。何を考えておるのやら知る由もない。それより村の皆を守ることを考えねば。我らの力で身を守り、糧を守ろうともしたが、失う者の方が多い。
敵はかつて武士だったとか。
そう見ておる。それにまだ仲間を増やそうとしておるようだ。これが調べたことのすべてじゃ。
我らにお任せを。
ありがたい。そうなればリンもわしの村の者たちも救われる。
Guess this is yet another circle of
お侍様、
dudes.
もう少しだけ話をさせてもらえませんか。村長は秘密の多いお方。話は誰にも漏らしてはなりません。
まだ何かあるのか。
村尾さんのために戦ってくれるものを探していたのはうちのじい様のためでもあります。じい様は年をとっても信仰の厚い人でした。
ほう。
人里を離れて暮らしておりました。山の中の小屋に住み、薬草を集め、社にお参りしながら、じい様がこの御坊を訪ねてきたとき、私は途中まで迎えに行って、そこであの者らに襲われた。
さようか。
大切なじい様を置いて逃げてしまった。じい様は私のせいで殺された。私が
大切なものを不意に失うことほど辛きことはない。
分かってくれますか？
他に道がなかったのであろう。戦の世は時に人を怪物に変える。我らはかような世を変えようとしておる。
道は他にもありました。私は卑怯にも逃げる道を選んだ。でも今は違う。
You gonna join the squad, lady?
戦い方を学びたいということか。
ええ、自分と大切な者たちを守りたい。それに人里から離れて山中に暮らしていた熊野にあるじい様の小屋を手入れしたいのです。那智権現の西に小さな草地があります。よければ会いに来てくれませんか？
Okay.
稽古をつけてやればよい。互いの利になるはずじゃ。
そうだな。
Very funny. Fortunately, it is not winter at the moment. That's deal with. Excuse me. What's going on there? Can go over here though. Try to sit properly also.
Sitting, you say?
Get me one of them standing desks.
何
I probably should do that.
まずは白状をさせてくれ。
I would, but I'd be afraid that I'd just like pass out standing. Because
Oh, well, yeah, yeah. That's, yeah, now that you mention it,
騙す気ではあるまいな。
違う。
for me, I feel like I could use it just because my posture is terrible and I got
お前
spine
の新しい
problems.
姿を認めておらんのかもな。
my problems are not in my spine. My problems are
そうや巡礼
A bit lower down.
a bit lower down.
私が何とかしよう。皆のためにな。
Well, there's some spine over there, I think.
必ず野党を始末
There's overlap.
皆が安心できるようになったら来てくれ。わしも安心して暮らしたい。
I mixed up which side quest I went and accepted. I was like, wait, I thought I was accepting a side quest about this, and then it was, oh, I went to the other one. But it's all good.
So I guess the new Oblivion is Unreal Engine? That's interesting.
That is interesting. I did not know. I haven't set it to download it.
Because, like, okay, feel free to lambaste me if I'm getting this wrong, but Starfield was Bethesda's new thing, right?
I believe so.
Okay, and was that still on their old engine? Or?
I think it was like the Bethesda. Yeah, it was Creation Engine, which is their Skyrim, Fallout.
Interesting. Yes, I'm curious if they're moving to Unreal gradually, or if this is just a one-off.
It might be because it seems like it was developed by Virtuos.
Oh, they found it out? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was unusual.
I mean, it is, but
偽山伏はすでに幾人か片付けたが、誠の山伏のため残りも探してみよう。
ありがたい。あのようなものらが山伏を装って害と苦しみを広めるなど許し
for some reason I thought Virtuos got bought by Nintendo, but I might be thinking of a different porting studio.
Nintendo owns them, whether they know it or not. There was some line in one of the first episodes of the Superman animated series I was thinking about the other day for no particular reason. I think it was along the lines of 1/3 of the city works for me, whether they know it or not. Right, it was Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking about Lex Luthor.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, a balding supervillain. I don't know what it was.
I did read a moderately entertaining thing, sort of trying to explain, like, why people willingly live in Gotham.
That's a good one. I didn't really think about that.
But, so, like, basically the idea was something along the lines of, oh, hello, cat, yeah. Where, like, and the reason why, like, there's a lot of, you know, Wayne Foundation stuff, and is basically people move to Gotham and then work for the Wayne Foundation, and then when shit gets too crazy, they move out and have, like, work experience in the big city, and that's the only reason why people live in Gotham anymore, and I was like, that's entertaining.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, thinking about it, I mean, people don't move that much. Things have to get pretty bad for, you know, major exoduses to happen. Pretty bad or pretty racist.
Yeah.
I say thinking of, you know, all the white flight stuff.
お地蔵様にお参りする人はほとんどおりません。大抵は旅人です。あるいは道に迷うたか。それは
Did he have like yellow eyes, or is it just a weird lighting?
両方が絡み合っています。
では、お前も道に迷った旅人か。あるいは待ち人がおるのか。
はぐらかすつもりで。
そうじゃな。私は一度道を見失ったが、また見つけ歩み始めたところなんじゃ。
似た者同士ですね。いいことを教えましょう。このようなお地蔵様を探して見つけたらお供えしてください。私からのお願いです。頼まれてくれたら礼をしましょう。
私が偽りを申したらどうする？
似た者同士の勘でそうはしないはずです。お地蔵様は道の交わり、川を渡るところ、この辺りのあちこちにおります。すでにいくつかお供えしてくれたようですね。
まあな、以前私に問いをはぐらかしたと言うたが、それはそっちも同じじゃろ。
可愛い顔なのに鋭いこと。私が道に
I think that lady does have yellow
待ち
eyes.
人があったのかと尋ねましたね。どちらもで
I
す。
feel like this lady's a ghost.
あの人も皆と同じように戦に駆り出され、
But are you afraid of no ghost?
気の毒にさぞ辛かろう。
辛さゆえに己を見失ってしまうのでしょう。お礼にこの品を。
Might just be the video compression, but she does seem to have a bit of an
あり
aura.
がとう。
もっとお地蔵様にお参りしたらまた来てください。できれば残らず。
It all up in them face. Maybe they are just like brown, but they're just lighter brown than other people. Was just a weird lighting thing.
Everyone's a ghost. Busting must be accomplished.
Faces and necks have been stabbed.
Whoop whoop.
"16 Jizo statues. 69 of them, apparently.
What are the things in Banjo-Kazooie?
Jinjos.
Okay, I thought that might be it. I was like, this, no, that can't be the same thing, right?
No, Jizo is, I think, like, if not a Shinto god, then like a Shinto saint of travelers kind of deal.
Right. I know that's a real thing. I just was trying to remember what the thing in Banjo-Kazooie was called. And by a real thing, I mean like, you know, a thing of which there are actual real-world statues and history too. They didn't make it up for the Assassin's Creed.
They did not.
奴らは子らを差し出さねば家畜を奪うと言うて百姓を脅しとる。
懸命に働く民の暮らしを守らねばな。
なら悪しき侍どもを成敗しとくれ。数を減らしてくれたら礼をするよ。
わかった。礼があろうとなかろうとな。
I think I probably should have like tried to figure out how many of these side things exist. Yep. The Sky Finance Samurais with their no interest loans. Bunch over there.
Are there loan shark samurais out there breaking kneecaps?
Probably, to be honest. I'm fairly certain that loan shark samurais are a thing in like a Dragon Ishin, not tied to Akiyama or old-timey Akiyama, who's okay. There's not actually this.
Also high speed.
I forget the name. Is your
Bone
finger
bones,
still
then dry bones.
being a butt? That is not a Jizo statue.
Don't want your finger being a butt. You got butts for that.
Oh, have to be Yasuke apparently. Easily fixable.
Speed Slasher Underground.
お前か。なぜここに。助けが来たのを喜ぶべきか。お前だったことに怒り狂うべきかわからぬな。
それがしのこと。
What is this camera angle?
火が遅い。焼き尽くした南蛮の侍だろう。信長のために始めた仕事を終わらせに来たの。
I think it's kind of they're always traveling together. Because like there have been cutscenes where they just kind of both show up suddenly.
そうだな。万物は儚く。
It's like the early Final Fantasies where your party just jumps out of your main character.
Yeah.
そう、視界が肝心なのだ。中富や名誉を重んじる侍になら耳を貸すかもしれん。だが、浪人を頼るくらいなら、己の影に頼むわ。
これでも腕に覚えがある。戦いの役に立つはず。民を襲うのは何者ぞ。
中富。
You just popped out. Hello.
Oh, full party.
See, I like to imagine that Yasuke is basically like the other party members in Persona 4. It's like theoretically the whole team is there, but you just don't see him. And then whenever something important happens, he is also there. It's like he's there enough to participate in the cutscene, but not there enough to save you if you are in the middle of being stabbed. Also, sorry, it just struck me how bizarre it is that there's a whole system for calling in support from like an ally, but your actual other player character is not one of those allies.
Yeah.
That it just now struck me that that's odd. Yes, they are in fact like Cloak and Dagger. It's a button prompt you hit, and now it just explodes out of Yasuke's torso. The ultimate haystack trick. Oh man, you have two characters. You could do like a spin on the haystack jump, where like she jumps and then Yasuke like catches
Pops out.
her.
Oh no, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Also, at some point, like again, Marvel references. At some point in this game, Yasuke should fastball special Maue at a guy. And then she hidden blades him in the face and neck.
Suddenly it's Portrait of Ruin. You can jump on your partner to double jump or do a fast swap.
Yes. Unironically, yes.
Who are you people? Oh, okay.
I also approve of the Dong Dong Never Die Nurses reference.
You may be two nurses, but you can never stand up to Optimus Prime.
Also, regarding your earlier discussion about why anyone would live in Gotham City, I have to imagine that at a certain point, the government is just paying you to stay in Gotham. Or...
Also, it's the DC universe. Like, where isn't it supervillainy as hell?
Well, it's not necessarily that everywhere doesn't have supervillains. It's that some places are clearly much worse with the supervillainy. Like, Gotham is on the low end of the scale because they have supervillains like the Joker, who will just horribly murder you and your family for seemingly no reason. But, like, in Metropolis, you're probably only going to be killed by, like, collateral damage because Superman got punched through a building, or like Metallo tried to blow up half the city to kill Superman or whatever. But like other than that, Metropolis is like a really like modern metropolitan city. It's probably got great social services going on. You've got a whole area of Metropolis called M Town where all the weird aliens live. So if you're a person who wants to fuck weird aliens, there's no better place on Earth to be. Like,
Okay, I have not
Metropolis-
been keeping up with like comics Metropolis. My knowledge of Metropolis is solely based on the animated series, and I don't think there was an M Town.
there's not. It's like a suburb of Metropolis where all the various aliens who are stuck on Earth hang out.
Fair enough.
I believe we
Yeah,
did make a
so-
Nakatomi Plaza
That's-
joke, by the way.
That was definitely news to me.
お主はそれで屈するようなものには到底見えぬが。
鋭いな。
The other thing is that I learned about a fun comic where, because when I went to Missouri, we drove by Metropolis, Indiana, and there's a comic where I forget what Superman villain is like, I'm gonna go fight Superman in Metropolis, and ends up in Indiana. Or not Indiana, Illinois, sorry.
Man, that would have been great for Doomsday. Because little known fact, in the original like Death of Superman run, whenever Doomsday was going to fight Superman, he didn't start out in Metropolis. He started out like in a small town nearby, and he saw professional wrestlers on TV talking about like the big fight in Metropolis for like some pay-per-view event, and literally repeated the word Metropolis and then just hopped down the road to go to Metropolis. And it would have been really funny if he ended up in the wrong Metropolis instead.
I keep getting the wrong Springfield. I can't find The Simpsons anywhere.
But also, yes, hello to Speed in the chat, and I agree with him. It is good to see you streaming again.
Mhm.
I'm also totally on board with people playing Marvel Rivals and then making more Marvel references because they are making references to the dumb Marvel things that I like.
That's good. Oh, my favorite Marvel Rivals thing recently is it's a meme about, those MMO ads like level 1, level 10, level 100 using
And it's Dagger,
three different-
Invisible Woman, and Emma Frost.
yeah.
Yeah. I've seen people make the Pokemon evolution chart joke out of that.
Mhm.
Also funny. I do think it's funny that Marvel Rivals has now added, like, oh, it's Emma Frost, and they added Krakoa as a map, and they've got the whole Hellfire Gala thing going on. So everyone's got rad skins. And then, in the comics, they are currently trying to bury everything about Krakoa as much as they possibly can. Like, they wiped Krakoa off the map. All the X-Men are back to doing their normal things, except for Charles Xavier, who went to space to bang his bird wife.
As you do.
Yeah.
That reminds me, as far as comic stuff goes, I should read World War Hulk because I read Planet Hulk, and I figured might as well.
World War Hulk is a somewhat disappointing follow-up to Planet Hulk, I think. Like, it ends the story well enough. There's some things about it I'm not a fan of. The main thing is that World War Hulk was loved because it was kind of an end to the Civil War era of comics. Like, so much terrible shit happened on Earth at that time period in the comics that everyone was cheering when the Hulk got back.
Mhm.
Even in the story, like, there's like a contingent of people on Earth that whenever Hulk comes down and is like, I'm going to crush the Earth, they're like, yes, please crush us, we suck.
Fair.
Like, he conquers Manhattan, and then his dudes come to him and they're like, dude, there's like a crowd outside. And he's like, well, yeah, I figured because people want to evacuate. And they're like, no, they're trying to get back in, they love this shit. And the Hulk is like,
please,
what?
Please step on us, Hulk.
I mean, that's a different crowd of fans. Yeah, I legitimately really enjoyed World War Hulk because a lot of things happened around that time. Like, God, Iron Man had done so much fucked up shit at that point that they needed to, like, hard reset. Like, all of the like big heroes that were in the quote unquote Illuminati group they made, Iron Man, Charles Xavier, Doctor Strange, Reed Richards, etc. Like, there's a point in the World War Hulk in the tie-ins where it's like Ghost Rider versus the Hulk, and I forget who fucking summons Ghost Rider, but somebody summons Ghost Rider, and he's coming to fight the Hulk because Hulk is, you know, trying to destroy Manhattan. And like Reed Richards is like, "Oh, this is rad. Ghost Rider can take out the Hulk probably." And then Doctor Strange is like, "Ghost Rider cannot take out the Hulk. We're fucked." And then they have a dumb fight, and then Ghost Rider just kind of leaves. And Reed Richards is all, "Wait, but why isn't he taking out the Hulk?" And Ghost Rider and Doctor Strange is like, "Yeah, this is what I was worried about. Ghost Rider is like the spirit of vengeance, and Hulk has a way better reason to kill us than we do him." So like he switched sides mid-fight.
Whoops.
I will now stop talking about Ghost Rider during this important scene.
This is the second Yasuke Naoe conversation, and it's like, man, I like when they have conversations, because I like both of these.
Yeah, I like both these characters a lot.
それには金が大量にいるであろうな。
お前には金持ちの友が何人かおるじゃろ。
されど前と同じようにはなるまい。
じゃあな。
父笛の音はどうだ。純次郎が直したのであろう。
前よりいい。確かめてみろ。
You know, it would be a flex if your home was destroyed in like an earthquake, and then you kintsugi'd the entire house back together. But also, I feel like that would inevitably result in people just chiseling away at your walls for the gold while you're trying to sleep.
My name is Sengoku Donald Trump.
God.
I made the house. I built the house back better.
Yasuke, like me, playing musical instruments. Like, you just blow in it, right? Oh god, everything is terrible.
I mean, look, if wind doesn't go in one side and music come out the other, then clearly you've made this instrument wrong. I'm wondering what would happen if you, like, blew a flute into, like, an auto-tune.
Gotta auto-tune the Nanase Bicorn theme.
誰かここで寝ておったのか。ガキ置きが。おばばの筆じゃ。おばば、早まってはならん。生きておると良いが。
Wait, she was still alive? What?
So, that's what I saw her in, like, the menu, like, still colored in and everything, so I was like, I guess she's alive? But, like, yeah. I assumed I would get here and find out she had died.
Yeah, Lester. I've probably found that shrine, maybe? You know, Tiny Shrine. I will do this side quest because that was a loose end that I was confused about, and now it's just like, what?
But yes, to an earlier conversation, Grav, highly recommend World War Hulk. It's a fun time. But I also recommend if you get a chance and you want to see kind of like what was happening at the time in the Marvel Universe, check out the first volume of Avengers: The Initiative. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. No, I recommend checking out the first volume of Avengers: The Initiative, which is a fun little comic they made with a bunch of new characters, kind of having to go through Iron Man's like superhero registration act boot camp to like train with Shield and stuff.
That's the
use their
one
powers.
where, without getting into the spoilies, is that the one where like the lady who rides the cloud comes from?
Yeah, Cloud9.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun look at like how things were going on Earth before the Hulk arrived. So you can get a really good idea of exactly how deserved it is when the Hulk shows up and starts just fucking shit up real hard.
Was that when they had Taskmaster training dudes, or was that?
Yes.
Yes.
They hired
Taskmaster and
one of the Ant-Man.
Yeah, the infamous Ant-Man or whatever is.
Nice.
Yeah, who I believe later became known as like Black Ant or something like that to differentiate him from all the other Ant-Men. But yeah, no, it was a good time. A lot of great new characters made for the initiative.
立派な忍びになったの。すっかり面変わりしてしもうて。
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
お父が死んでからいろいろとな。
マサヤスはやはり死んでしもうたか。
It's cool. Also, I do like I'm fine with the dialogue thing for lying.
Yes.
よう戻ったな、直江。いつか帰ると信じとったぞ。
言うたじゃろ。おばばが困っとるときは力になると。まずは。
I have you now, and you'll never die, ancient woman. Aunt May.
To be fair, Emma Frost is her birth name. Her superhero name is White Queen. Which makes slightly more sense.
ならそこへ行こう。
じゃが気をつけんと。近頃何かと物騒でな。そこらに住む山伏が通りかかる者を襲うとの噂じゃ。
ここで待っとれ。小屋の様子を見てくる。寝泊まりできそう。
Although again, I really have to point out that Emma Frost is like barely a hero. Like, she's been a hero for years, technically.
Yeah, that's weird. Because I'm used to, you know, either like cartoon Emma Frost or like X-Men First Class Emma Frost, you know?
Was she in one of the cartoons?
I'm pretty sure she was in the animated show.
Like the original one?
Yeah, I thought.
Like, she was probably in, like, Yeah, okay, she was definitely in Wolverine and the X-Men. But, like, I don't think she was in the 90s cartoon. Wait, no. Looks like she might have been. God, I don't remember... Yeah, they must have dealt with the Hellfire Club at some point, but I do not remember her from the original X-Men cartoon.
And she was in First Class because she was like Kevin Bacon's second in command.
Yeah.
I don't know how long I'm going either, so yeah, see you later, Speed.
See ya.
You will be streaming Rune Factory 4 Special.
Yes.
Oh, fun.
Or Piglet.
I've always kind of enjoyed the Rune Factory games. They were more my speed than Harvest Moon.
I picked up Rune Factory 4 Special like a while ago, I think, in like a buy two get one deal, and then I started playing it because people started streaming it. Like, oh, this is very fun. Close, but I'm just coming at the dumb angle. I get that it's some kind of musical instrument, but it just sounds like a car horn going off for some reason. And it's like, that does not make sense. Oh, is it there's a fake Yamabushi? Oh, hello. Oh, God.
I will say, to be fair to Emma Frost, she had a really good turn from hero to villain. Like, they did a good job converting her over. It's just, she's also done a lot of incredibly fucked up things while she was villain, so it's kind of hard to get past some of that. But as far as villains they have tried to make into heroes, I would say she's one of the ones they've done the best work with. It's not like fucking Apocalypse trying to be a hero during the whole Krakoa era, which was literally just, hey, we're making an island for mutants and we're giving everyone amnesty, and then Apocalypse walks in like, hey, I heard you're giving out amnesty. And they're like, yeah, you're cool, Apocalypse, get in. Come to our island, start a death cult. We're fine with this.
I was gonna say regarding heroes into villains, where does where does Carnage in that one very silly comic fit into this?
Carnage was done well only because that... Well, okay, no. I can't in good faith say that the Carnage turn was done well, because it was caused by...
It was caused by the dumb
psychic
thing.
explosion. It was caused by the psychic explosion of the Red Skull who stole Charles Xavier's brain to gain his psychic powers, being killed by Magneto, which unleashed a, like, wave across the world that flipped everyone's morality.
The only thing I remember of that is good guy Carnage and drug dealer Iron Man.
Yes. Sabretooth was also a good guy during that. Let's see. Who else? Like, most of the people got flipped back fairly quickly. There was like a dumb event where all those people's moralities were flipped, but then somebody like switched everyone back, and I think Iron Man, but it might have been somebody else, like put a bubble around themselves whenever the morality was getting returned to normal to keep their morality from getting returned to normal. And I think Iron Man and like a handful of other people kept their flipped morality situation.
These drugs won't deal themselves. Gotta keep the coke flowing.
It was like app drugs.
Yeah, it was. So Iron Man at the time in the comics had this thing called Extremis, which was in the third movie.
Yes.
But basically it was like nano machines you put in yourself that rewrote your body to be sick. Or not sick, as it were.
Yeah.
Sick like an Xbox, not sick like a damaged Xbox.
Sick like an Xbox, not sick like me.
Yes, but so basically it was like, oh, you can use whatever you want with it. You can have it remake you to be hotter or like physically fit, and you have minor levels of superpowers and stuff. I'd say minor levels of superpowers. Somebody with Extremis was capable of beating Iron Man's ass super hard before he also got Extremis. Which also was a very funny result of that story arc, was basically Iron Man's fighting these people using the nano drugs and he can't win. How's he gonna beat them? He'll also take the nano drugs. Success! But, he didn't even give it out. He, like, infected everyone in the city against their will with Extremis, and everyone just woke up, like, super hot and healed and physically fit, and were like, this is amazing! And then, like, a week later, they all got a text from Tony Stark being like, okay, your free trial's about to run out. Now you gotta pay. If you want to continue being extremist up and, you know, being the best version of yourself, you gotta pay me just to keep it active. It was basically a Black Mirror episode.
You're not wrong. Also, the main thing I remember about that is that it like gave Daredevil sight for an issue or something, because like
yeah,
they were like
he explicitly went and found Daredevil and then gave him his sight back and was like, hey fuck yourself, go fuck yourself, Daredevil. There was actually a really sweet part of that issue because before his sight goes, he actually calls Foggy so that Foggy can come meet him just so we can see him once before his sight goes away.
Aw.
It's like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, Iron Man actually stayed that version, like the superior evil version, until the universe got destroyed in Secret Wars. And then Reed Richards remade the whole universe, so presumably he put Iron Man back to being a good guy, but also nobody knew Iron Man was a bad guy at the time. So theoretically, if Reed put everything back the way it was supposed to be before it got destroyed, Iron Man would also still be a villain. I don't know. They used
Comic
that
books.
whole universe. They used the universe getting destroyed to basically reboot the universe, but like a soft reboot. They pretend everything still happened exactly the way it did before, but we can realistically assume that Reed probably took out all those instances of him slapping his wife, right?
We can
Reed
hope.
Richards is remaking the world. He probably got rid of those. Although he definitely did not get rid of all the instances of Hank Pym slapping his wife.
Comic book.
Comic books are fun. The trick is you have to be detached enough from them to not get upset when things go bad, because they will go bad.
Oh man, yeah.
Uh-huh. Speaking of comics going bad, have you heard about Gwen Stacy? Uh-huh.
So I didn't like hallucinate that, right? Where like Gwen Stacy is back and hanging with Gwenpool and is like purple Gwenpool, but also Wolverine.
So it's worse than that. She's Deadpool from the Wolverine movie. She's got the arm katanas.
Oh no.
Uh-huh. And I believe the solicits teased that she will kill Gwenpool and then become the new Gwenpool.
I don't like that.
I also don't. But knowing it's Gwenpool, I'm assuming that Gwenpool will quote-unquote die, have an afterlife adventure, and then get resurrected. But yeah, they're bringing Gwen Stacy back as like a Deadpool knockoff. For real, instead of Gwenpool, who I want to point out was a joke because she was neither Gwen Stacy nor related to Deadpool in any way.
Man, that Gwenpool comic is really...
That Gwenpool
the first
comic
one
is amazing. Yep.
And then, because I read the second one, or okay, I didn't read the because there's one that's like Gwenpool Strikes Back or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it in the store, and I went, I like Gwenpool, and I flipped it open, and like 2 pages in is Gwenpool trying to get cancer so she can have a comic book by like accosting Spider-Man, and it's like,
yeah.
Whoa, no, thank you. That's not okay.
Also, while you play this, for the record, I will be fitzing with the character creator in Oblivion Remastered.
Nice.
I appreciate that they did not go full Skyrim. Like, the characters still have the very kind of goofy proportions they had in Oblivion.
Is it still Patrick Stewart?
Yes.
Okay. That was a question that I had, and I didn't quite know how to like look up. Like, is Patrick Stewart still in the thing for 5 minutes?
Like, I'm not even positive that they re-recorded the voice lines. I think they did because I think there are actually some like new voice lines. But as I'm still stuck in the character creator, I can't be positive. And also, it's been a long time since I played Oblivion, so I don't remember everything he said.
I
might think those are new voice lines, and then it turns out they're not.
Oblivion is a game that I have played like 2 hours of like 7 times.
Oh yeah, I've got a handful of those. Oblivion's a good one to do that with. I mean, I think in general the Elder Scrolls games are good for that. Just like, I just want a bit of this.
I will say that I think my favorite Elder Scrolls thing I ever did was that like the last time I played Skyrim, I just ignored getting the part where you can do the dragon yells, and I have like I did everything else before getting the dragon yells, and I was like, this is actually very fun when you're not being accosted by dragons every 5 minutes. Who are you talking about? Lady, I am in a fast travel point. There is no one here that is a mountain man, fake or otherwise.
Yeah, but what if you just spun the camera and the guy was just hanging out?
That'd be very... I forget which game it was where Jeff talks about being a fan of tagging dudes, but I'm also a fan of tagging dudes.
I like a good tagging system. I think this game does an okay job with the tagging. Like, I know there's an upgrade you can get later that just tags everyone on site, which would probably be super helpful. I'm not sure if you have that yet.
I don't know if I do or not either. Oh.
But I will say that I do like... I like that upgrade for one, because, yeah, that's kind of how I prefer it to be. And I think they've hit a decent sweet spot where before you have that upgrade, like, it doesn't feel like it takes too long hovering over a dude to tag them, you know? And I feel like there's a very... Like, that's a weird balancing act, a tightrope that you gotta walk, where it's like, we need to make this annoying enough that you'll want to get the upgrade, but not annoying enough that it makes the game feel bad to play.
Yes. That's somehow not a door. Okay.
I love moving various face sliders on an Argonian and not knowing what's changing. I just noticed that it said something about, like, oh, now it goes to collect lanterns while
the old lady and the old man enjoy some alone time, and I'm gonna walk back in on them fucking. Aren't? Okay, they are not fucking.
What do you think this is? Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
Yet.
心と胸が温かくなる気がせんか？
ようわしらを見つけてくれた。
おさきを呼んどいで。
できたの？できたの？
食べよ。
こりゃうまい。たったあれだけの具で。
畑があれば、おばばはもっとうまい汁を作れる。
直江が畑仕事を手伝ってくれたからじゃ。誰が種をまいて育てたか忘れたのかい？
私も種を植えたい。
おさき。
私、ここに残る。
おさき。
松さんと新しい畑を作るの。じいさまも。
That child is shiny.
じいさま。
Yeah.
ここに住むなら、松尾ババが立派な忍びに鍛えてくれるじゃろう。
That child came out of like an Xbox game. She's got that sheen, that weird oily look.
I was gonna say she's about to make her wrestling entrance.
だが、一時だけじゃぞ。
No, there's like a particular era of games that people had that look.
Yeah.
I want to say it was like Xbox, but it might have been like early 360.
なおえ、かたじけない。
お前は大した子じゃ。おかげで暗き闇から抜け出し、新しい生きがいを見つけることができた。礼を言うよ。
家族は互いを慈しむもの。そう教えてくれたのは松尾ババじゃ。
Now I'll give you two old people some alone time. Come along, tiny child. They're about to be as shiny as you are.
Ugh. They're gonna work up that Xbox sheen.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so
Like they were briefly trapped in the house by a tiny child.
just a little bit.
Time to get specular.
Oh man, sorry, I'm still messing with face sliders over here, and probably will be for your entire stream.
Not fair.
But I want to point out that I really like the way the characters look in this because they are still very noticeably Oblivion characters. Like it's better graphics, but these are the you look like an Oblivion.
The horrifying monsters of Oblivion.
Yeah. No, I put the chin pronounced slide. I put the chin slider all the way to pronounced on this Argonian, and that chin looks absurd.
Yeah, the way they move their mouths and stuff, it's definitely Oblivion. I haven't actually
Yeah.
played it, but I watched the announcement stream earlier today. So.
Mhm. I'm a big fan. I really did enjoy Oblivion a lot back in the day. As far as Elder Scrolls games, just fucking around, it was one of my favorite ones. I just hated, the leveling system that was completely jacked.
I definitely missed the boat on Oblivion, and I've never really played any of the Elder Scrolls, but there was like a thread a year back about just funny ass Oblivion clips, and I was like, yeah, this is my kind of jank here. People dying in lava and rocketing into the stratosphere and stuff like that.
There's a lot of classic Oblivion clips of just jank. Like the one of the dude talking about like, oh, necromancy's illegal. And then he takes like 2 steps and gets like launched into the ceiling by a trap. And then a guard comes by and is like, oh man, and steps on the same trap and also gets launched into the ceiling.
Very funny.
Oblivion's a good time. I recommend it to anybody who wants to just jack around in a cool, big, dumb open world, which is one of my favorite things to do. So
I need to get back to Avowed.
Hold on, refresh my memory. Which one is it? Oh, right.
That's Obsidian Elder Scrolls.
Yes. It took me a bit to get back there, but yes, now I remember. What is it? Oh, I see. Oh, I want my Argonian chins large.
On my Argonian chins, Jay Leno-esque. My father was a Devil Joe.
できることならばこの手で裁きを下したいものだ。されど秀吉様を差し置き動くわけにも分かってくれるか。無論。
Meanwhile, Naoe is just in the background like, hey, what's up?
他に入り用のものがあれば申せ。土産話を楽しみにしておるぞ。
随分と話し込んでおったな。また織田の侍に戻るのか？
元より離れておらぬ。されど我らの絆に変わりはない。
あやつに何を頼まれた？
裏切り者らを成敗したいと。
その敵討ちの邪魔となれば、また私の里の者らも倒そうというのか？
お主の里の者は大義に忠実であった。それがしが成敗するは忠義心を売り私欲に走った腐った者らのみ。それがしにとってこれは恩返しでもある。信長様がおられなければお主と共におることもなかったであろう。忠義を尽くさねば共に奴らを探してくれるか。
仲間でただ一人の侍を失いとうはないからな。あの美丈夫が代わりになるというなら別じゃん。
I like that I still have 2 unknown organizations. I'm like, I don't think there are that many more little exclamation marks of like where I need to. Oh, there's one. Or at least 2 more. Actually, you know what? Since I'm level 50, I'm gonna try. This was the meditation spot that I started, and then some dude attacked me out of it, and it was very funny.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Well, I think I do. I might be thinking of.
I don't think I did it on stream. I just mentioned
No,
it.
you're probably right.
But
there was something. I feel like I saw, or maybe it happened to me. I'm not sure. There was something where it was like, "Oh, here's the thing," and then I don't remember. That does sound vaguely familiar, though. It's been a bit.
Yes. Wish I had a closer fast travel spot, but
Jutting Argonian jaw if you want to give yourself a mad underbite.
I know I did do like a little bit more. Like, I think I gathered all the waypoints that were just kind of like on the map. In between then and now, this game is very pretty. When in fall, when the trees get all fall colors, and it's like, man.
Yeah, I think this game has definitely a couple of like the fall season is really nice, winter is really nice, and like basically whenever you get like a cool rainstorm going, also looks really good. The game has some standout things weather-wise. Just really good-looking game. They've done a good job with this one.
I know we were talking about Unreal Engine a little earlier, but I do like the Ubisoft engine. Like the Star Wars game they did, also a looker.
I saw they put out a free demo for that. You can play now.
Cool. I also know it's coming to Switch 2, which is entertaining.
Nice.
Because nobody loved them a console launch like Ubisoft loves them a console launch. I was also entertained by Arcade Archives Ridge Racer, finally bringing back launch game Ridge Racer to the world after the last one being like the 3DS or Vita, maybe? I don't think Vita Ridge Racer was launched. So the 3DS. Sometimes you get in the foliage and it's very hard to see.
Yeah, that will happen. I've mentioned it before, but I think this game probably takes the award for like the densest forests. It would also be very funny if you just, the whole time you were running through the tree branches, took like tiny bits of damage. It's like, ah, fuck, ouch.
That would be very fun.
That should be like a realism slider. It's like, all right, you made it to the other side of these trees. You now need to spend an hour cleaning yourself off. Just picking little needles and shit out of your clothing.
The Metal Gear Solid 3 shit right there.
Open the survival viewer. I'm not gonna lie, I miss the survival viewer. I wish more games had a thing like it. Like, you know what would have been a fun game to have a survival viewer?
What?
Never Dead. Think about it. You're immortal, let you collect just a bunch of absurd injuries and then have to open the survival viewer and, like, pull this 2x4 out of your torso. Alternately, survival viewer might be a fun addition for, like, what do you call it? The disaster report games.
Yeah. Does Disaster Report have something similar?
They might. That's why I was thinking about that. Like, if it doesn't have that, they should. It would also fit with, like, a Man vs. Wild game.
I wish I had Yasuke to just kick this man, because...
Yeah, now that I've thought about it, I can't stop thinking about how weird it is that you can't call your other character as a support. But I guess it would probably be too confusing because you can change their loadout.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't want you changing their loadout in the middle of a fight, probably, because then it's got to deal with two characters and all the equipment you've got, and I could see it getting confusing, like, programming-wise. Maybe there will be, like... Well, no, that might be worse, actually. I was thinking maybe there'd be, like, a special story thing later, like a battle or a boss fight where you could do that. But then I was like, well, if there was a story beat later where you could do that, that would actually make it worse for me, because that would prove they could do it and just didn't for most of the game. So I'd rather it just not happen.
It will probably not happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it.
I did it. I did the meditation without getting murdered.
Congratulations. I know that's usually one of my main problems when I meditate. Watching out for threats. Oh god, if I make the... Sorry, still missing character sliders. If I make the nose bridge slider too long, I start to look like those people from the Dark Crystal. Got a very round Argonian head going. A lot of things can throw this off. Oh, yeah, that's alright. Don't hate that.
I do feel like this is why, for a lot of character creation stuff, like, I don't mess with face shape too much, because I feel like I am very bad at ending up anything, like...
So, I 100% agree, but it's also why I love the Elder Scrolls, is because they give me Argonians and Khajiit, and there it doesn't matter how much I fuck with face shape.
Fair.
Because it's a lizard person or a cat person. It's like, yeah, fine, whatever. Alright. I think I've made it out of character creation.
雲を見て何に見えるかを言うんじゃ。あれはどうじゃ。
But now I need to name the character.
見えんな。
Nah, I've always got a good backup Argonian name in my pocket.
さようか。それがしには雲を見る目がないのやもしれぬな。
そうじゃな。
Chillin' looking at clouds.
Ah, たわいないおしゃべりじゃがな。
異なる生き方を思い浮かべたことはあるか。
幾度かは。名家に嫁ぐ。夫はおとうが望んでおったような立派な伊賀者。子は3人、皆わんぱく者じゃ。良き暮らしじゃろうな。
お主らしくはないが。
先の見えぬ旅には常に憧れておった。見えておった道は胸躍るものと思えんでな。まさかかようなことになるとは思うとらんかった。
いつどこであろうと、お主は他の者を変えるような生き方をしておったであろうな。
そうじゃろうか。お前は考えんのか。
うまく思い描けぬのだ。それがしの心がそれを見せまいとしておるかのようにな。
悲しくなるからか。
悲しくはない。ただ遠いのだ。されど思い描くとすれば、それはしばし腰を下ろせるような日々だ。鎧の重みを感じることのない日々。息子たちは自由に大地を踏みしめ、それがしが建てた大きな家に皆が集う。
良き暮らしじゃな。
あ
あ。あの雲は何じゃ。
ムササビに乗る富だ。
そう見えるな。
そうであろう。
刺された。さて、浮世へ戻るかの。
Nice cloud interlude.
that was a fun Cloud interlude, but also I feel like it's always a missed opportunity in games that do a thing like that, where show me the Cloud.
I feel like they tried, and then it was just like, that doesn't look like anything what they just said.
Yeah, but also, what was the other one? Oh, it also just made me think of the extremely funny Cloud scene from Life is Strange: True Colors, where you learn about that time that Alex's brother accidentally killed a wild goose.
The queen is going to be on your ass.
Oh, that game was really good.
Yep.
私は丹羽利和。丹羽長秀殿の義兄弟のまたいとこにあたるものじゃ。
初めてお目にかかります。何か困りごとでも。
This game also very good.
新しい顔を見るのは良いものじゃ。港には誰もおらぬし、かつての賑わいも消えてしまったのでな。
何故そのようなことに。
漁師は漁に出ることを恐れ、商人は海へ出た途端に襲われる。皆怖がってしまって取引をしようとせんのじゃ。
誰の仕業で。
海賊じゃ。この乱世の最中ゆえ勢いづいておる。
民のためここは私にお任せください。
かたじけない。恩に着る。
Okay, I think I've talked to everyone who shows up on the map at the moment. At least. See any other? Side doodads. So let's find one and do some missions. Like I was like, I'm gonna do some missions, and then I've just been like not doing any missions. I'm like, what do I want to do? Oh god, options. Do this one because it's right here.
海賊はこの地に救う疫病だ。海辺の民のために力を貸そう。
Let's go on up here. Oh, hello.
違いない。京女殿は狙われとる。くせ者どもは湯の峰温泉か。
Oh, that was. Jeez. Probably over here. Up.
くせ者どもはここで落ち合うはずじゃ。誰か来ないか隠れて見張るとしよう。
ヘマした彼女は最下で
Stabbing people in the face and neck.
Meanwhile, I'm over here at Oblivion fighting for my life against the tutorial rats.
That sounds like
These guys
Oblivion.
are a problem. This is one of the more surreal experiences I've had in a game. of just this is Oblivion, but it looks way better now. Because obviously I've played other games that have been like remastered and made to look better, but I think this is probably the most dramatic improvement due to just how long ago Oblivion was.
Like it in like RE4 maybe. But RE4 changed a lot more compared to what I assume is in this.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I feel like RE4 was different enough it didn't give me the same like vibe, but here it's like walking through the little tutorial catacombs behind the Ember and like looking around and just being like, I remember all of these turns and like columns and stuff. It's just that now it's all smooth. Like the actual like movement of the camera, like it's all, I don't know, it's very odd. It's an odd feeling to play through it and know that everything is exactly the same, but different.
Saikaか。京女殿の居場所はわからんが、鎌吉の方はこれで明らかとなったな。なるほど。鎌吉め、昼は詰め所、夜は宿屋で張り込みか。この鎌吉という男、これだけ長い間人の話に耳をそばだって探りを入れていたのか。
Is it night or is it day? These are the questions.
I feel like you're in trouble if that's a question you have, generally speaking.
Well, it's like dusk or dawn, and I'm not sure which. And it does seem like this man is in between where he is at night and where he is in the daytime. Also, hello, sir.
京女殿の居場所は他の資格どもより先に見つけんとな。
What up?
まことこの世は気なることばかりだ。待ち伏せの次はお主が前触れもなく現れるとは。また会えて嬉しいぞ、直江。
お命を狙われているとの知らせを聞き、剣女殿の命を受け参上いたしました。
父がわしを気にかけるとはな。銭稼ぎの資格ごときわしの相手ではない。
Oh, this guy.
息も絶え絶えようおっしゃる。ここで私がお助けせねばどうにもなりますまい。
確かにこのありさまでは偉そうなことは言っておれぬな。すまぬ。助け出に感謝いたそう。これを銭稼ぎどものことが記してある。わからぬことだらけだが高野山の父から頼りがない。すまぬが調べてきてくれまいか。
承知。
わしは追っ手の目をくらますためよそへ移るとしよう。熊野三山に向かう。時が来たら敵の頭目を打ち果たそうぞ。共にな。
ご無事で。
Double note. How much money do I have before I just buy a bunch of scouts back? Let's find out. I have 3,000 monies. I can buy a bunch of scouts back.
It's always hard adjusting when you're playing through like multiple games at a time. Adjusting to how much money is a lot of money.
Monster Hunter 3000 is not a lot of money.
Yeah.
Oh. There's this Kumano Nachi Taisha. Oh, is he like here or something? There he is.
Speaking of multiple games, I was actually inspired by you picking it up recently to play through a little bit more of Xenoblade Chronicles X.
It's a good game.
It is a good game, in fact.
I know that this is forever my hot take, Curse to Bear. It's the only good one of those.
I get it. Like, I might agree, honestly. But it's only because I haven't really played the other ones, except for Xenoblade Chronicles 1. And Xenoblade Chronicles 1 had issues. Gameplay was fun, but holy shit, Shulk. What the fuck, man?
You ever play much
I feel like
of...
he got better later in the game, maybe? But I also have a vague memory of him getting much worse later.
You ever play much of The Last Story for the Wii?
No, I've heard the name, but...
Because that was one of the
couldn't tell you
other
what it is.
games that was part of that whole...
Oh yeah, there was like a whole thing of like games getting brought over.
Yeah, it was Xenoblade
Kind of a
Chronicles...
localization initiative.
Yeah.
What was that called? Sky something?
Rainfall.
That's, yeah.
But it was like Xenoblade Chronicles, The Last Story, and Pandora's Tower, I believe, were the three like big ones that were like, hey, we want to play these. To which I say, boy, you know what? You could have kept Xenoblade and you could have kept Pandora's Tower, but The Last Story is actually extremely good.
Hold on. Pandora's Tower sounds familiar. I'm gonna look this up. Okay, yeah. The name sounds familiar. I vaguely recognize some of this art, but the game not so much.
I want to say it was like kind of a mystery tower or mystery dungeon type goal. Hello. I really enjoy when the boss slow-mo happens in the middle of something very silly happening.
I appreciate how little of a chance most of these guys have.
A little bit.
It's like, oh, get ready for a cool fight, and then it's just you beating them mercilessly for like 15 seconds, and then they die.
I feel like it's one of those things similar to like how like at a certain point in Assassin's Creed Odyssey where like you just hit the point of like, oh, I've stacked one of my damages so high that like
it's like I can just use this sneak attack ability to wipe dudes effortlessly.
I'm kind of at that point where it's just like I have stacked my assassinate damage so high that
like I think I did that in Odyssey with what do you call it? My like hunter damage, whatever the bow and arrow one was. Because that one ability that lets you shoot the guided arrow, I would just circle around the enemy bases, just I would circle around the enemy bases, just firing arrows from the bushes and just taking out 90% of the dudes. I appreciate that whenever you interact with all the chests and stuff in Oblivion, they like open during the looting process. And when you interact with a roasted rat on a spit, it like rotates when you interact with it to loot it. It's very funny. Crawling through tunnels, shooting goblins. But yeah, I am going to play more of Xenoblade X. I think I'm going to actively try to like make an effort to finish that game this time around, because I always felt kind of bad that I didn't finish it back in the day. Whoops. Wacha! You know, some things never get old. One of those things is shooting fireballs at goblins.
Fair.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked on, like, you know, real-time Discord chat in a bit, but I wanted to mention, yo, that new season of Black Mirror came out, and yo, that's a pretty good season of Black Mirror.
Nice.
Although I would highly recommend that you never watch the first episode of that season. It's depressing as fuck.
So, full disclosure.
Uh-huh.
You said, oh, the first one was really depressing. I did not watch it, but I looked it up and I went, oh, God, everything about this sucks.
Yeah, that first episode is one of the most depressing things they've ever done. By a mile. It's incredibly a bummer. In every conceivable way. Like, well acted. Like, it is not badly made. It is the subject matter is depressing as fuck. But I was going to recommend the fifth episode of the season, I think, called Eulogy, starring Paul Giamatti, is a fantastic episode in every sense. Not, well, kind of depressing, depending on how you look at it, but I think it has a relatively uplifting ending. And just, like, really well done. Paul Giamatti is a good actor. And it's basically like a two-person play. The concept being that he is playing kind of an older, depressed dude reliving memories of a failed relationship by using technology that literally lets him, like, step into a 3D recreation of old photographs. And, like, essentially the plot is he cannot remember the face of, like, the woman he had the terrible breakup with. And he's going through these old photos trying to remember her well enough to remember her face. And along the way, kind of, like, realizing that over the years he has forgotten details of the relationship or remembered things in a way that kind of makes him look better. Like, smoothed over his own faults. It's an interesting story of a dude kind of realizing that maybe he sucked. Starring Paul Giamatti. It's very good.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti, I don't think I've ever seen a thing in where I was like, man, Paul Giamatti was just phoning this in. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when the fact that Paul Giamatti is in Ripper?
I don't remember that. Is that the weird fucking, like,
FMV game with
FMV game with Christopher Walken?
Yes.
Okay.
Paul Giamatti is in that game and uncredited because it was before he was famous.
Oh, that's weird. Ah. Goblins.
I feel like I know way too much about Ripper than any person should.
I was gonna say, you mentioned Ripper, and I was like, I know what that is, but I have suddenly forgotten the term for FMV.
But yeah, he plays like one of the medical examiners in Ripper. It's just like, oh, what's up, Paul Giamatti? So I forget if it was a Nextlander or Giant Bomb where they were playing Ripper and like one of them had IMDb up and like every bit actor who was not Paul Giamatti was also just in like between 2 to 7 episodes of Law and Order because they shot it in New York, and therefore it was just like all of the bit players in the New York acting scene were just kind of around.
I was gonna say, I stumbled across a thing earlier where somebody was like, hey, check out this random clip of, like, was it Pedro Pascal playing a random goth teenager on, like, a Law and Order SVU episode from years ago. And
Oh
it's
my
extremely
God.
funny. It's extremely funny to watch.
I might have to look that up when we're done here, because holy shit.
Hold on, let me see if I can actually...
I will say this is another thing on the list of things that I should probably watch because I would probably like, but
Holy shit. Yeah, okay, I found it. It was NYPD Blue.
oh hell yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna put this in the Discord. Or, you know what? Fuck it, I'm putting this in the Slack, baby. Everyone needs to see this. He looks like an extra vampire from like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's amazing. Look at that dude.
Oh my god.
Look how far I can stick my fingers up my nose.
But yeah, because I keep seeing like promo shots for the new season of the Andor show, which I should probably watch as someone who likes Star Wars but hates Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems like a good Star Wars thing with no Jedi in it.
Yeah, that first season of Andor was good. I like it a lot. It's just that, like, here's the thing. I like Star Wars. I also am totally cool with Star Wars things that do not include the Jedi. And I understand that Andor is like a political thriller type thing. But holy shit, it's so slow sometimes. And I understand that's part of the appeal. Like, I don't want people jumping around firing lasers and shit, but there's so many long silences and people just glaring at each other in quiet rooms. It kills me inside sometimes. But that's also just like, I've mentioned before, I have a hard time doing one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Because it always feels like I'm wasting time if I'm not multitasking. Hence why I'm watching your stream
and
talking
playing
about this and playing Oblivion simultaneously.
There's like a promo shot of the new season of Andor where I feel like I think it's Diego Luna, I assume, which might be bad on me, but he just looks like Pedro Pascal, and it's like, whoa. Random encounter on the street to the assassin target.
Hey, what's up again, Patrick Stewart?
I'm sure you're gonna live through, you know, the next...
He's gonna make it.
He's gonna be okay for the next...
I need to look up how he looked in the original game. Hold on. Yeah, no, he looks very similar. Alright. His face is less puffy. That's the main thing here. I don't remember him having such luxurious hair.
I also don't remember the Emperor having luxurious hair. Oh, I completed a battle pass objective.
Alright, which sign marked my birth, aka which one gives me a better carry capacity?
Ah, shit. Problematic. Why are there 4 of these people? Why are there 5 of these people?
This feels like Yasuke should be here.
I'm dead. Let's try that again. And let's not set off the alarm. Like, oh, there we go. Yeah, you're running. I have no idea where this man went. I mean, I guess let's just not go in the front door. I think that was my problem. Also, I appreciate that the, like, hip is, like, he trains alone during the day. Like, it is nighttime. This is not useful. Also, I feel like there is a Yu-Gi-Oh card called Tsuchigumo.
That would make sense. I would honestly be shocked if there wasn't.
I think I'm thinking of Jirai Gumo, which is the big spider that has a bunch of attack power.
Oh, yeah.
But there's probably also a Tsuchigumo.
Yep, there is. There's in fact a Tsuchigumo Yu-Gi-Oh card. There's also a Jorogumo. Oh, wait, no. Jorogumo is a character.
What?
The picture is just a dude holding a fucking revolver. He's from... Yeah, no, he's from Yu-Gi-Oh! Wait, what the hell? Hold on.
He's from, like, that, the one where where Kaiba has green hair that we didn't get.
Maybe? I can't really tell. It just says he's from the Toei series.
I believe that is the one that we didn't get where Kaiba has green hair.
Wait, hold on. Yes, Kaiba is seen with green hair. Okay. Yeah, no, he's the villain of episode 2 of that series. Episode 2, quote, "The evil gamer, the trap of hell." He's an escaped
Did
convict.
Batman really think a gamer could stop me?
He is an escaped convict and a master of disguise. He worked as a manager at Burger World.
Oh, right, and, like, there's something, like, extraordinarily fucked up where, like, Yugi makes him, like, stick his arms in the deep fryer or something.
Doesn't mention that here.
Okay. I feel like that man has a very fucked up death. I might just be thinking about Daredevil.
Apparently he made him believe that he was on.
That would do it. I knew there was something about fire. Oh, this has not gone well. I'm gonna go talk to these people, and I think that will be a Assassin's Creed Shadows stream.
All right.
It's pleasant to be back playing this game.
Yeah, it is still a very good game. A lot of other things have been coming out lately, but this is a big game with a lot to do.
I like watching this game.
I do enjoy looking at this game. It's hard for me to focus on for long periods at a time, but I really enjoy it.
No ringing the bell.
Oh, he's gonna ring that bell. Oh, no, he's not. He's gonna somehow survive that fall. Well, I'm gonna be honest. If I was climbing a ladder and then halfway up somebody hit me with like a throwing dagger, and then I fell off the ladder onto said throwing dagger, and I still somehow survived all of that, I would just hope the person finishes me off.
Yeah.
Because that's rough. Falling off the ladder would be bad enough, but onto a knife? No thank you. Just kill me.
Okay.
All right. I will say one other thing about Andor. Did you ever watch the first season?
No.
Okay. Andor continues to make it really obvious that. Oh god, I just looked this up and I immediately forgot his name. Hold on. Fucking Forrest Whitaker. His character from Rogue One
Saw
appears,
Guerrero or whatever.
Yeah, he appears in Andor, and it makes it really obvious that he was fucking wasted in Rogue One.
恨みを晴らそうとしたわけか。父とじっくり話し合わねえな。直江、次はもう少し。
Also, I forget, did you ever see the bit where Mr. Door showed up in the other Star Wars series?
So I've seen that clip. That is the amount of that series that I've seen. Because I looked at because you mentioned that he had a really good monologue, and I was like, oh man, this monologue's great. And then I was like, oh, how much more of the series is he in? And the answer is none of it.
Nothing.
And it's like, well, that's not ideal. My parents have been watching a show with Mr. Door in it lately. And my favorite part was that I recognized him. He did not show up in the commercial, but I heard his voice because he's also playing kind of a shady talk show host. And I was like, wait a minute. I know that shady talk show host. And let me claim my battle pass rewards. I'm halfway through the first battle pass. Stagger all nearby enemies on weak point attacks is a very good ability, considering how many times I use weak point attacks as Noe.
That does seem fairly powerful.
I might buy that. Reflect 10% damage on hit also seems pretty good for Yasuke, but I'm going to spend my battle pass funny money on this weird hood. All right. I'm also going to spend some skill points, but the Winter Raider. Oh, because I've like done a bunch more stuff. Is it gonna? Oh, it is gonna tell me how to unlock other abilities. That's nice. Some of them. There's apparently an arena somewhere in the, because I feel like I have so many things that are like, you have to do the arena, and it's like I don't even know where that is.
It is the one.
Guess has died, and also because there was an update, it moved where the. Okay, OBS should be back now, but there was an OBS update and it moved where the connection indicator was, and I misplaced it. It's no longer a square also, and I was like, wait, how do I don't know what my throughput is. Oh god. And let's get some Yasuke mastery. He's got a bunch.
Jesus Christ.
What happened in the Oblivion?
No, it did happen in the Oblivion, but I'm not actually. I've just got it paused right now at the class selection screen while I was watching the stream and whatnot. But I'm gonna just go ahead and post this in the Slack channel as well. Behold.
I did see that, and it looks like those memes of JD Vance to me.
You're not wrong. Oh.
Okay. On that note.
Also, on that note.
I was gonna hit the endings. Oh.
From like a couple of posts down in that same thread.
Great. I'm glad I'm not the only one who had that, you know.
Nope, you're correct. Objectively. All right. On that note.
On that note, I'm gonna wait for the Naoi to kind of face more because this is a nice picture. I want to take a picture with the photo mode.
Good looking game.
Really is.
Ubisoft still knows how to make them. I know it's very popular these days to hate on the Ubisoft games, but sometimes you just want a big friggin' open world game to run around and do cool shit in while everything looks good.
It's very true, and they are very good at that.
They still make good ones of those.
Join me tomorrow for the more face and or neck stabbing. Night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.